Hi everyone. We're going to take some time and space now to move through grief together. Grief is one of those uncomfortable feelings, and our Mindflow series is all about kind of allowing the uncomfortable feelings to be there, giving them space, and also shedding and letting go of whatever we need to rid or get out of our bodies. We use movement, we use meditation, we use the breath. Now, grief is something that we experience after a deep loss. And this could be the loss of a dear person in our life. It could also be the loss of the past, of a place, of a time. It could be the loss of a thing. My 9-year-old son still grieves the loss of his blankie. So it can be that simple, or it can be as complex as losing a dear loved one or family member. We all experience grief in our own way. There's not one way that we can say, this is grief. There are so many different ways we move through grief. We can feel sorrow, despair. We can feel deep sadness and pain, but we can also feel joy. We can laugh. We can share memories of the past or of a person that's dear to us. So all of these experiences are wrapped up in grief, and it's not just one thing. It's not black and white. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in our everyday life, and we move through it in our own unique way. This class is here to give you space for yourself, for your emotions that you're moving through. It's a practice that is really just about tuning into how you are doing, how you are feeling, and allowing whatever comes up to be there. In our everyday lives, it's really hard to carve out that time to feel our feelings. We're kind of taught to rise above the surface, and grief is one of those feelings that's really hard to choose to dive into. So together we're going to choose to dive into grief. We're going to begin with a meditation practice. We're going to move into a movement practice together, and we'll close with a breath. For this practice, please have a yoga mat, a bolster, and a block handy. And we're going to start with a meditation, and you want to make sure you're in a comfortable seat. So if you have a nice armchair to relax into, if you want to get a blanket and get comfortable, we just want to be comfortable for the first part of our practice. So we begin seated, closing our eyes. As the eyes close, we draw our awareness into the body and to the breath. We start to move our attention away from the world around us and toward our own inner space. And we'll begin to deepen our breath, breathing in and out through the nose. As you inhale, feel the belly rise, feel the chest rise, feel the breath in the throat. As you exhale, feel the shoulders slide down the back, feel the sit bones sink into your chair, feel the ground beneath your feet. Inhale, feeling the length of the spine, the open space of the chest. Exhale, feeling your seat. Continue to find a beautiful, spacious breath, keeping your attention right there on the breath, right here in the body. And just by tuning in, we start to cultivate space for ourselves. As we breathe in and breathe out, allow yourself to feel whatever feelings are stirring in you. You can choose to bring to mind the deep loss in your life, Or you can choose just to simply be here, offering yourself space. Notice what comes up for you and just allow it to be there. Long breathing in, long breathing out. Noticing where the sensation is in the body. In the chest, in the throat, in the shoulders, in the forehead, maybe in the belly. As you take a deep breath in, cultivate space where you need it, where you're feeling tension or tightness. And as you breathe out, release anything that isn't serving you in your body. Let it go. Cultivating space on the inhale, and maybe simply letting go of resistance on your exhale. This could be a physical feeling of resistance, or it may be an internal feeling of resistance to whatever emotions are trying to come through. And wherever you are, let's bring our hands to our heart. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feeling the breath in the chest. Feeling our heartbeat. We are here in this moment completely for ourselves, giving ourselves permission to feel our feelings. Know that we can feel joy and pain in the same moment. Taking 3 more deep breaths in and out. Feeling the physical expression of your emotions in your body and allowing them to be there. One more breath in and out. Bringing your hands back down onto the knees or the thighs, slowly opening your eyes. Just taking note of how you're feeling in your body, understanding that grief moves through us in our own unique way. We're going to continue our practice on our feet. So we'll have our mats laid out, our props beside the mat, and I'll see you there. Coming onto your mat with your feet on the ground, about hip distance apart. And just taking a look at your feet on the ground, pressing into the toes, the heels, the inner, the outer edges. We're going to use this moment just to ground down through the feet firmly. Taking your arms down by your sides, dropping the chin down into the chest. We can close our eyes. As you breathe in, feel the spine lengthen, feel the shoulders drop down the back and the heart come forward. Press your feet into the ground as you exhale. Feel also the shoulders drop and the arms hanging from your shoulders. Breathing in and out here, cultivating a little bit of space in the back of our neck. And then gently roll the right ear over to the right shoulder, finding just a little lift of the chin or maybe letting the head tilt back. And then down through center on your exhale and over to the other side. We'll just go side to side a few times, just following the breath, letting the arms hang heavy from your shoulders, feeling the feet on the ground. Cultivating space for the neck and throat here. And if it feels okay, we can make a full circle with the head. Really start to open up through the throat. For some of us, we can get quite tight in the throat when we're moving through these uncomfortable or intense feelings, when we're moving through grief. Changing direction. So this is just opening up the throat a little bit more. Clearing any energetic blockages that maybe are there. Notice the sensation in your throat. And then we'll come back to center. We'll continue to cultivate some space between the neck and the shoulders. On your inhale, pick the shoulders up to the ears, and as you exhale, roll them back and down. Inhale, lifting the shoulders. Exhale, back and down. And we're going to really start to exaggerate this movement. So it starts in our shoulders. As we roll back and down, the heart comes forward and we bend the knees. And then let yourself roll all the way forward, rounded back. Arms hang heavy and we roll back up on the inhale. Exhale back. Inhale to rise. So we're feeling this wave through the body. Two more like this. Opening up through the heart a little more, opening up through the back of our heart, that space between the shoulder blades. One more. Rolling back and down, good. And then grounding firmly through the feet, soften your knees and find a little bit of a bend here. And then we're gonna hop on the heels, so we keep the toe mounds really planted on the floor. We're hopping on the heels, and the most important part of this is letting the arms hang heavy, softening through the belly, and just feeling into that jiggle, letting it be there. So we're activating the lymphatic system here. This is a beautiful opportunity to release whatever isn't serving you in your body. We can let it go. Also feeling that earth energy, grounding energy coming up through the heels of the feet. Steady breath in and out. Jumping up and down is a great way to reset the nervous system. So if you're feeling really stuck right now, you can jump up and down and see if it alleviates that feeling of being stuck or being overwhelmed. Slowing it down. Just pressing your feet back into the earth. We're gonna engage a little more actively now through the legs, so engaging the quads, taking the arms up. And as we reach high, we're gonna lengthen up out of our hips, up out of the ribs, so we can feel this long line through both sides of the body. Interlace your fingers and release the index fingers upward, reaching tall. And at the same time, see if we can drop the shoulders down the back. Pressing your feet into the floor, lengthen up on your inhale, and as you exhale, we're gonna come up and over to the left. Really lengthening the right side body. If this feels like a lot for you, you can take your left arm down. Inhale, come on up. Exhale over to the other side. And we're cultivating space in the torso, in the ribs. We can also feel a little stuck here in the chest. Inhale back to center. So we're releasing any stagnant energy again, up and over to the left. Use your breath. Inhale back to center, up and over to the right. Coming back to center, we're going to take the hands to the low spine. Press into your toes, lifting up through the heart. Pull the shoulders back. Let the head drop back. On your inhale, let's lift through the heart. And as you exhale, continue to let the head fall back. Let the arms come back. Keep the weight forward in your feet. Giving space for our heart and our throat to really deeply open up. Keep breathing. Inhale back to center slowly. Separate your feet a little wider than your hips and come on down, bending the knees. We're going to come all the way down into a forward fold. Let the head hang heavy. Take a breath in and a breath out. Deep breathing in through the nose. And let's go out through the mouth. You can let out a ha sound. Inhale. If you need more support here, you can take your block to the floor in front of you or your hands on the floor. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to see if we can move a little more deeply now into a forward fold. Heel till your feet a little closer together if that's okay for you. If you need the stability, stay wider. We're going to see if we can take our pieced fingers around our big toes. From here, we're going to start to pull the crown of head toward the earth. And as we do that, see if you can send the shoulders away from our ears. Pulling those shoulders down the back, a little bend to your elbows. And as we pull up against our toes, we're pressing the toes down toward the earth. Now, to keep this stretch in the spine, we bend the knees and focus on spine. If we want to get into hamstrings, we can start to pick up through the hips. This forward fold is really just about bowing forward, honoring yourself, connecting inward. We're also shifting the flow of blood, oxygen, and energy in this inversion. We're going to sink our hips nice and low in line with the knees. And on your inhale, sweep your arms forward. We're going to press our feet into the ground and stand tall, super strong here. Lengthen up and out of your stretch. On your exhale, bend the knees and bow. On your inhale, we can root to rise. On the exhale, bend the knees and bow. We can add a little more in, rooting to rise on the inhale. And on the exhale, as you bow, take the arms back behind you. We can even interlace our fingers if that feels okay and drop a little deeper. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, we bow. Inhale. Exhale. Deep breathing in through the nose to rise. And let's go out through the mouth to release. In and out. In and out. In and out. Nice releasing breaths here. Feeling the movement of blood, oxygen, energy in our bodies. We can continue controlled movement, or we can invite some momentum. So maybe we let our arms swing back and high. Nice releasing breath. Good. Let's do 3 more like this. Inhale, rise. Exhale, shake it off. So sometimes energy and emotion can get stuck in the body, and we can use movement and breath to kind of get it out of the joints, to get it out of these parts of the body where it's stuck. We're going to get into our hips next. So we're going to take the feet wide, and here you might need a block nearby. We're going to come on down. We can come down to our hands. If you get into this position and you want a little more support, You can sit on your block at any setting for a little more support in this pose. We are feeling this in our inner thighs and in our hips, toes slightly outward. If you like, hands on the floor, we can shift the weight from one foot to another, getting into the knees and hips a little more. Feel your hands on the ground if that's where you are. And then back into your squat position. Maybe you're sitting on your block, maybe you don't need that. We're gonna bring the weight into the heels, lengthen tall, and see if we can bring the palms together. If you can't, we can stay here. Good. If we can go a little further, we're gonna take the left hand down, take the right arm high, and come into a little twist here through the torso, gazing past the fingers, lengthening up through crown of head. Keep the breath moving in your body. Back to center on the inhale, over to the other side. Keep breathing. Noticing sensation. Back to center. Good. And from here, we're going to sit back as gracefully as possible. Take the hands back, send the legs forward, and just shake it off. Deep breathing in and out. Beautiful. So from our seat, we're going to come onto our back on the mat, and we're going to make use of these props. So we'll take our bolster and our block to the back of your mat. Take the block to the very back edge. Take the bolster just in front of that, the width of your mat. And we're going to open up a little more deeply through the space of the heart and lungs. So we want to lie back so that the back ribs are supported by your bolster and there's space for the shoulders to drop toward the floor. The sacrum is also on the ground. And then we'll take our arms wide. We can bend at the elbows or arms extend. We're using the support of the block under head. However, if you'd like to move a little more deeply, you can always remove the block to open a little more deeply through the upper chest. We can keep the feet on the ground and the knees bent. This is a little more restorative, maybe just letting the knees fall into each other. If we want to open up our hips a little more, bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees drop open. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Give your body some time to settle into this position on the floor. Feeling your breath in your body and your body on the ground. Letting the body land slowly and gently. Start to feel the parts of the body connecting to the ground. Parts of the body connecting to the block and the bolster. Noticing where physical resistance is in your body. See if you can let it go. If you need to wiggle through the hips or let the head roll side to side, give yourself some movement to release any resistance. We're just going to cut this part out. There's some sounds happening in the space, so we can just cut out some of this sitting here on the floor like this and cut back in. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Noticing the sensation of the breath in the body. The space we are cultivating in the chest. Notice if you're feeling tension or tightness here. See if you can, on the inhale, cultivate space. And on the exhale, let go of any resistance. Surrender to gravity. As we open our hearts deeply in this pose, be open to whatever emotions are stirring in you. If feelings are bubbling to the surface, let them come. And if you're feeling not much at all, then let it be that. Just let yourself be exactly as you are on the ground. We're using time, breath, and gravity to deepen the stretch. On the next inhale, slowly pull the knees together. And then let the knees tick-tock gently side to side. Feel into the stretch along the side body, along the ribs, along the hips. Deep breathing in and out. We can let the head turn side to side as well, taking the twist all the way into the neck. Tick-tock the knees side to side. Coming back to center and then rolling over gently to your right or left side. Pressing off your props, and we'll just set them aside. Coming back onto the spine on the mat. And we're gonna give ourselves a nice big hug, pulling the knees into the chest. Good. We can circle the feet. Wiggle the toes, change direction. And then as you squeeze the thighs over the chest, we're holding knees, shins, or backs of our thighs. We can rock side to side. Feel the back body on the floor. Start to circle the knees. Feel the sacrum rooting down. Change direction. And then back to center, give yourself one more big squeeze. And then we're gonna extend our heels down to the bottom edge of the mat and bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. As you breathe in, breathe into the hand on the belly, then the hand on the chest. And as you breathe out, empty the chest, and then empty the belly. Really feeling our breath in our body. Use the inhale to cultivate space. Use the exhale to surrender to gravity. Notice how the breath helps the body to settle, to surrender to gravity. We're going to offer ourselves some deep restoration here as we settle into the floor. Feeling your body from the crown of your head all the way to your toes. Giving yourself permission to be right here in your body on the ground exactly as you are. We can start to release and let go of any resistance that's coming up. This might be physical resistance or resistance to any emotions that are arising for you. Softening through the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes, the jaw, tongue, and throat, the neck and shoulders, the arms, the hands. Feel the spine on the ground and release through the chest and the belly. Soften through the hips, the pelvis, the sacrum, and down through your legs, all the way to the feet, the toes. We're going to take 5 or 6 more breaths to drop into the floor. In your body with your breath, in this beautiful moment. Through grief, we acknowledge our own humanity. Feeling into your own humanness. Feeling into the gray, letting go of the ideas of black and white. One more breath in and out. From here, when you're ready, we're going to ground down through the feet, bend the knees. Slowly roll over to your right or left side and gently press yourself upright. Finding a comfortable seat on your mat. Let's take one more breath together. Sitting up nice and tall, closing your eyes. Let's take a deep breath in together and a deep breath out together. Thank you so much for honoring yourself, for giving yourself this time to be here, to move through what is uncomfortable, and for showing up. Thank you all.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. If you're enjoying what we're sharing, please give us a like, and you can also subscribe to this channel below.
And if you want to follow us along on this journey, you can find us at kin.co or on Instagram at kinsight.